not treasure. It's a monster.
Roar! It's got big teeth, but it's not a monster. The paleontologist says it's a dinosaur.
What's a palonapotogolist?
Palonapotogolist, Diesel.
A paleontologist is a scientist who learns about dinosaurs.
By digging up their bones.
I love dinosaurs. This is so cool.
Oh, yes. And even cooler, they need some engines to deliver the bones to the Vickerstown Museum for the big new dinosaur exhibit.
Sounds like a job for the Biggest Adventure Club! Yeah! Hooray!
Alrighty, welcome everyone. Who's ready for the last week of some RFCL football? Weeknight of some RFCL football for the regular season. We're calling an interesting one tonight. We got UCO with a full squad tonight. Against my old team, we got UCONN coming in tonight. We'll jump over to them in a minute, but yeah, tonight brings a pretty interesting game. Sorry about that weird dinosaur stuff playing in the beginning. The music in there, had an ad in the middle, so sometimes it's out of my control, and yeah, get over it. Y'all remember last time my stream had a little bit of issues whenever I hosted it, so it's going to happen again. Yeah, that was the link that I was provided last time, so it better have been, because that's what the link that I have been provided by them, so I really don't know, and that's more of a not me question. So anyway, yeah, let's jump into some interviews. Gonna go over to UCONN first. Well,
That's Daddy right there.
A gaggle of cute boys over here. How y'all doing this evening?
Hey, sweetie.
I know, long time no talk for a couple of y'all. It's good to see y'all again. So, how y'all feeling going into tonight?
We're playing spoiler.
All right. So I got a question for you, Jason.
All right.
So, person to person, I didn't leave you in the best position with what you had taken over this offense. A lot of coldness going on, not a lot of overall success, not a lot of good things to really look back on and work with this year. Tonight, to wrap this up, to put everything in a good tone, what's your plan?
Out strong, come out fast, go deep, and see how far we can go.
All right. Well, hey, best of luck to you boys. Always love y'all. And yeah, let's see if y'all can whip some ass tonight.
Fuck out of here, Beaver.
Fuck you, Zach. All right, we're going to jump over to
I don't have
UCO
to
now.
worry about it.
What's going on, boys? How y'all doing tonight?
We're doing good. Last game of the regular season against a team we haven't beaten in a while, so there's a lot to play for in this one.
Yeah, and it's a parsless UConn tonight, weird condition. It's, I was there, so I can say it's been a weird season for the fucking team. They just, it's been aggressive over there. Those weird vibes when I just jumped in there, Y'all seem a little giddy. Y'all seem a little active. What's the plan going in tonight? I'm going to ask you first, Wad. Offensively, UConn is pretty strong against the run, not too strong against the pass on a pretty consistent basis. Is that something you see incorporating in your game plan tonight?
Based on the last couple of weeks, we've actually been able to warm up Weasley, and yeah, we're hoping to do it again today.
All right. And for you, Taco, kind of the inverse. If anything, UConn's run game is their best looking thing. UConn's passing game really isn't that strong. Do you have any unique ways you want to share with us how you plan on attacking them, or you want to leave that for a surprise?
I think I'll leave that as a surprise, but I mean, also I was on that team, so honestly, I know Zach knows a lot of what I run. I know a lot of what they do over there, so it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top.
All right. Well, boys, best of luck tonight. I'll see y'all at halftime.
Appreciate it.
Sounds good.
Alrighty, so hearing from both teams are feeling pretty confident tonight. We're going to go ahead and jump over into the game now. And it's going to be UConn kicking off, it looks like. And UCO bringing it out to about the 20-yard line. It's been an interesting year this year in the RFCL. A lot of teams who I remember y'all predicting weren't really getting up here, and a lot of teams that weren't supposed to do much this year. Shout out to Space Force even showing out and looking too strong. But let's see if UConn can reverse some of the narrative they had about them this year. Let's see how they do without Pars this year. They've only had one game without them so far this year, and they looked pretty strong throughout it. Kept it close the whole time. So let's see if they can keep this fun, keep this entertaining for tonight. Nismo, there's no cams because there is no fucking cams, okay? Get over it. But also, it's a good question. All right, we got 2nd and 5 here. UCO with the split back look. Let's see what they do. And so far, the 3-2-6 holding strong for UConn. Let's see if they switch from their 4-2 look and go to a 3-2-6, keeping an extra defensive back out there. It seems like they've been blitzing them, sending them so far. Let's see if that keeps up. Let's see if that holds up. I think it's a pretty interesting tactic so far, especially considering how they've usually had 6 or more in the box all season. And first down. So far, the 3-2-6 doing good on that 1st and 2nd down, stuffing them, not letting them get anything big. But ultimately, when you blitz all your defensive backs like that, especially your safeties, it's going to leave some holes, especially down the middle, and UCO takes advantage of it there. Then it's going to be the option keeper this time. Weasley getting the 4-yard rush. This is a tale of two Weasleys, this game. One Weasley leading a team that has very, very strong playoff potential, can look to make a run. It's been solid, has had a little bit more consistency to his game against one Weasley that has just looked terrible, frankly. Has not done good, hasn't done anything that is really that memorable this season. But that's going to bring us to 3rd and 6 right there with the incomplete pass down the middle. Miles Garvin breaking it up. One of UConn's most consistent players this year on defense. Always stopping the run. Usually when involved in the pass can break something up or at least get a guy down. Won't let anything go past him. But it's going to be 3rd and 6 here. UCO already has a 3rd down conversion this drive. And UConn looks like they're going to be switching it up, going with the 3-4 look. So it looks like they've changed their complete defensive game, going from the 4-2-5 to the 3-4-3-2 look. 3 down linemen's kind of their choice. I feel like they just don't think having an extra defensive tackle in there or D lineman is worth it instead of throwing an extra defensive back or having a linebacker there. It works out, brings them to a 4th and 12 stop, and puts their offense in the driver's seat now for this game. Apologies for my poor internet. Something y'all are going to have to deal with all night. The resolution isn't the best. The speed sometimes isn't the best. Just part of it. It's part of the Beaver commentary experience. This is going to be a hell of a punt, bringing them behind their 20-yard line. UConn's going to be starting it off from the left hash. Got about 81, 82 yards to work with. Let's see what they can do here. Let's see if George can bring them on a drive. Looks like they're going to be coming out into I form. So straying away from some of the shotgun spread looks that we've been seeing a lot this year, going back into that, looks like going to be 21 look. Looks like a couple running backs, tight end. Sometimes it's going to be a fullback instead of a split back look. Probably what you're going to see a lot from UConn tonight. But they need to hurry up. They only got 3 seconds. All right, they got it off. And Wright's only going to be bringing it up for a 1-yard rush. Johnny Wright has been pretty hit or miss this year for UConn, you know. Sometimes he'll make a few guys miss and take that ball 10 to 20 yards. Sometimes he's not going to do much. He's not going to impress much. And even when he has a hole there and has space, we'll only bring it up for a yard at best. And it's going to be Weasley dropping back to pass off his back foot, and it's almost intercepted. My God. Look, you can have fucking Bill Belichick calling plays, and George Weasley is just going to fuck it up somehow. He's going to do terrible. I honestly do not envy whoever is the man coaching him. His draft stock is just being non-existent after this season. Anyone that's going to take a flyer on him even, I feel like it's just taking a big risk, big liability, too big of a story for too little of production at this point. So he's going to have to do a lot tonight to really save his football career for draft stock or to really do anything that can leave a lasting memory worth a damn. And he's going to drop back to pass, has all day, dumps it off, and it's going to be 11-yard reception by Spruce. Besides Murphy, Spruce has definitely been UConn's best target all year in the passing game. He's constantly catching it. Don't see him dropping it much. Usually he's able to find a way to bring it past the sticks, at least right to the sticks. And right there on the third down, even with all the time in the world, it ends up just being a dump off the Spruce, and it's enough to bring him there. Going to see a lot of hot routes by UConn, and it's not to throw them off, it's to get the quick pass off, and that's going to be another completion to Spruce, 9 yards there. As I said, Spruce is reliable. Spruce, besides Murphy, is the best target UConn has. I mean, whenever you're going to sit guys that, or redshirt guys, I may say, that could be the best receiver in the league potentially, you're going to have to find different routes than usual, and finding a way to get your tight end involved in the pass game, you know, isn't too foreign of a concept, but not everyone does it, and it's going to bring us to 2nd and 1, brings us a lot of play call potential, can see the play action, can see a run down the middle. Let's see what they do here. They get it off. It's a play action, and again, Weasley has all day, and oh my fucking... And see, that's the problem with Weasley. He'll have all day. He'll have running lanes even in the passing game. There's guys he can pass it to that are more open than that. You still have time. You don't have to force it. Just throw it away if you're not going to do anything worth a damn with it. If you're just going to throw it into a sea of white, at least do it if you're getting pressure. I just don't get it there. But we see the Maryland eye heavy. Something we don't see a lot in this league. Interesting style choice for UConn especially. And is that... Yeah, it looks like Morse is going to be at the tight end here. So look for maybe a little dump-off pass, a little pass fading off to the outside for Morse here. It's going to be a timeout for UConn, 3rd and 1 still. Morse at the tight end, you know, that does bring a disguise look in that formation. It brings something that you aren't going to expect, especially having all 11 players inside the box. You're not going to expect that type of speed right off the line. If he can break open here, if he can get past that second layer, well, it's just going to be a QB sneak anyway. But look to see some passing looks with Morse out of that Maryland eye look, especially later in the game whenever things might be getting a little bit more intense, a little bit more tough, because UConn's driving at this point, showing a very impressive first drive. It looks like it's going to be the shotgun offset look. A lot of traps out of this look, a lot of inside zones out of this look, a lot of running. Well, going to be something else. Okay. Giving us the split back look. A lot of passing options out of here. using that split back look, the running backs, of course, are going to be more involved in the passing game. But the question is how much with UConn, and they do get it off here, and it's just going to be an off-tackle handoff at this one, stuffed in the backfield for a negative 2-yard rush. Not much happening this game so far, just some first downs here and there. No big plays, no big turnovers, no big hits, really. Something's eventually going to give. This is RFCL football after all, and the pace usually picks up after once in a while. Players usually got to get a little warm, and let's see if Weasley can do something to get himself warm, this time being George, of course. All right, so it's the tight look by UConn, which is going to be interesting here because it's usually a pass. And first down by Eddie Murphy. His first look of the game, 15-yard reception. Unfortunately, Murphy's been a victim of Georgia's performance. Murphy hasn't gotten the most chances this year. I believe he's had more rushes than receptions this year, just as my attempt whenever doing that. Had to get him the ball as much as I could, and George wasn't getting it to him. But let's see if Murphy can get a little bit more involved tonight to end off his career at UConn. It's going to be 1st and 10 here. UConn bringing it to Central Oklahoma side of the field. First team in this I believe they're the first team to take complete control of the field, and a complete duck by George. I don't know if you even look into the future at this point and just bench George and see how that backup does. Give him a little playing time. It is senior night. Maybe give some other seniors that usually don't get playing time a chance to run the ball with it or something, or let George warm up and see what he can do. It's going to be a strong look and almost gets picked off, and that got picked off. He had complete green in front of him. It's 3 for 7 already. We're in the first quarter. I mean, there's been 3 passes that have been scarily close to being an interception. It's 3rd and 10. Expecting George to pull something off here is going to be nothing short of insanity. However, the way UConn can pull it off is if George dumps it off to one of these guys and lets them fucking bring it over the line. And that's how UConn's been doing it all night. Been in front of the sticks and let them carry it up front. And that looks like that's what they tried there, but Murphy had to bring the pass to the ground because A, it was such a bad pass, and B, if he tried to stand up, he would have gotten Austin Collied. Yeah, Nismo, I am hating on George Weasley, Fuck him. 4th and 6, punt. All right. It's going to be 1st and 10 here. Central Oklahoma is going to have it in the 25 or 20, my bad. And we're going to see the spread offset look. As I said, a lot of inside zones, a lot of traps. But it's going to be some motion coming to the outside. And my God, it looks like Fred wanted to act like his brother there. 2nd and 10. And let's see what UCO can do, They got to prove their ranking right now. They kind of just let UConn march a little bit. They haven't really done anything yet too impressive, but let's see what they can do right here. Got to have a lot of faith in a team that's been a little bit more consistent, that's had a few good scoring performances, and they're going to bring it up here for 3rd and 3. And that's a 13-yard rush, so UCO's got to be starting to drive it up a little bit. As I said, the running opportunities are good out of this offset look. Let's see if they can keep moving it. It looks like it's going to be a play action, and it is. 4-yard reception, bringing them to 2nd and 6. And UCO is going to be bringing them in the hurry up now. We're still 4 wide, keeping that running back in the backfield. And let's see what Weasley can do here. Drops back to pass, and he has some time. But now he's getting chased down, and he's going to be sacked. I spoke too early there. That's Helen Keller is going to bring it up for the sack. Great career Helen Keller's been having at UConn. Great season Helen Keller had at UConn. One of the few standouts this year. One of the few things UConn really does have to write home about. And another first down. So UCO, UConn both have been converting a lot on 3rd downs tonight. If I'm UCO here, I'm the better performing team. I let this just go into the 2nd quarter. I don't try to push it. But let's see what they do here. And they don't get the playoff. I think that's ultimately a smart move. Don't try to hurry it up too much. Don't try to risk it too much. Just let your team operate where they're comfortable. Right now, we're 1st and 10. You're in good position. You're on the other team side of the field. Just play ball your way. And that's what we're going to do. Looks like we're going to go into a split back look here. And we haven't seen too much passing yet from either team with these multiple running back looks. Let's see if that changes, or if this kind of stays run heavy out of these multiple running back looks. If the passing game really just tails off to the receivers, tight ends. It's going to be another first down for UCO, and looks like UConn's new defensive strategy, isn't quite doing what it used to do against the run. And this may be something they might have to go back to, or stray away from, better words, if they want to stop their run better. However, they only let George take 3 yards there on the option keeper, which could be much more dangerous, Only allowing a team to 3 yards a run isn't always a great thing, but on an option keeper like that, whenever you bite, that's usually a big run opportunity. That's usually one of the run plays that teams are like, hey, we use this to have a big play, and only bringing that to 3rd yards is pretty big. And now they stop him in the backfield. They put him behind the chains. It's 3rd and 11. UCO's been behind the chains on 3rd down already, especially on this drive. I just realized my mouse is in the way. Sorry about that, boys. And let's see what happens here. Honestly, with how the game's gone so far, this is one of those 3rd downs that are probably going to convert it. It's been a little strange like that. Looking at the tight flex look, most likely going to be a pass out of this down. No real reason to disguise that, and it doesn't look like they are. It looks like they're just going to line up and run the damn play, and that's what they do. And they don't do it well enough to even get a completion, yet alone a first down. Brings us to 4th and 11. Not the most exciting game tonight. UCO looks like they're going to be coming out in field goal formation, and let's see what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, we have points on the board. Might have taken us almost a quarter and a half to get there, but my God, that's more exciting of a field goal than I've ever could have imagined in the RFCL in the first half, of course. But yeah, UConn's still in position to take the lead this drive, going into half, putting themselves in a good position, especially because they get the ball back second half. That's going to be 1st and 10 here. UConn has it at the 25, middle of the line. And we're going to have the pistol look, 2 in the backfield. George is really throwing some dangerous passes tonight, Usually it's I will say this is a good game for George Weasley because at least, the defense isn't catching it whenever he throws it right to him tonight. But this is a pretty signature George Weasley game for his senior night, and you'd be crazy to think otherwise. And it's going to be a first down, Kyle Morse. I think that's George Weasley's longest completion in the air tonight so far, and it probably is going to stay that way considering the way he's been throwing. However, it is 1st and 10, and let's see if UConn can keep doing it. Might have a lot of negative commentary around George Weasley tonight. Just know that has solely to do everything with the fact that I fucking hate George Weasley and nothing else. But he's going to bring a good pass down the middle there to Murphy. Gives Murphy a 19-yard reception. 38 yards so far on the night for Murphy. Let's see if he can close out his UConn career with an even stronger performance than we've seen so far. And if that pass was on the dollar again now, we would have been seeing 6. But George had to George it up there, and we're now at 2nd and 10. We're going to shotgun tight. Not too much of a surprise considering the preferences that of Zach, of Pars. Something that they like to see in their playbook. You're going to see stuff out the shotgun tight. Not all the time, but it's going to exist. And a 1-yard reception out of Elvis Bread. Almost having to break his neck to catch a little dump-off pass from Weasley. It's almost unfortunate for all the talent that UConn has and what some of these guys can do with the ball if they just had chances to move the ball. Weasley's passes have just been terrible this year. And it just shows there. I mean, they maybe could have gotten a first down, at least gotten within 5 yards of it. But now they're going to be 3rd and 9. And they were due for it. Weasley has been throwing it horridly all night. His decision-making has been terrible. His accuracy has been terrible. And now UConn has to suffer for it. The whole team does. Because Weasley can't get it together. But it's going to be 1st and 10. Enough about that, Weasley. Let's move on to the other. It's 3-0. Let's see if Central Oklahoma can make this a 2-possession game. Let's see if UConn can do anything about their big mistake right there. We still got a whole 4 minutes and 41 seconds left. And Central Oklahoma is probably going to have to take the timeout here. They do. A lot going on in the last minute. Game's starting to pick up pace. Something I asked for. Seek and you shall receive, guys. Nismo, if they try passing it over 5 yards, it gets fucking picked off. That's the way of George. And we got Fred there with a 3-yard rush. UConn not letting the QB keepers tonight on those options do much at all. 3 yards is the most we're really seeing out of it. Stopped it in the backfield a couple times. Fred's only averaging, I believe it said he's averaging 0.yard rushes a carry, or negative. So he's at negative 1 yards for the night rushing wise. UConn's doing what they need to do right now in terms of stopping the QB run. However, Central Oklahoma is taking a lot of time off the clock with every possession, controlling the field, and if they keep this lead, that's going to bring big problems for UConn, as George is only going to get colder this game, it looks like, and they're going to have to find other routes in their offense to move the ball. And it's going to be a first down, Colt Strong. Look, the way this game's going to occur, it's probably going to be a lot of dump-offs, a lot of slow moving pieces tonight. I know I had to roast George there, Nismo, but considering both these teams' play styles and everything, unless they start running PA verts and stuff like that to throw it over their heads. I really don't see a lot of big air raid plays happening. Maybe a big run here and there if something gets freed up, but that's just not the style of these two teams, Nismo. But yeah, I just did have to throw George Roast in there too. Oh shit. It's only going to be a 0-yard gain or a gain for nothing. I thought that he was about to get drilled. I was bracing for it, but ends up just being a little soft tackle, still for a gain of nothing. But let's see what UConn can do to capitalize off of that. They put UCO to a halt now. Let's see if they can keep them behind the sticks. Let's see if they can even get an interception. They're due one. They've dropped a lot this year and gave up a lot on the other side. They're due to have some interceptions, and looked like it could have been it there. Wasn't too close, though. It's going to be 3rd and 3. UCO's in good position to score again. Got to convert here, or it's still going to be a one-possession game, and giving UConn a chance to take a good lead coming back out of the half, especially with the ball. But that's neither here nor there until after we see what happens. It's a split Y offset look, the motion inside zone. It's going to be enough for UCO to get the first down, and things aren't looking the best for UConn right now in this situation. Let's see what they can do to get it together. And they're going to wind the clock down here at UCO a little bit. Not the worst decision, you know. They don't want to give UConn too much time to do anything. Going to have the motion in the backfield, and Weasley is just going to carry it up the middle, 2-yard gain. It's kind of in the way of Fred's running tonight. Maybe if he gets anything, it's just going to be 2-3 yards. But at least he didn't get stuffed in the backfield. At least he didn't get drilled in the back on a sack there by Helen Keller. And it's going to be the spread flex look that UCO comes out of. A lot of potential for corners here. A lot of potentials for post looks. A lot of potential for post corner looks. Even angle routes with the offset running back. I think this is a pretty smart formation to run right now, especially with the looks that UConn likes to give, the blitzes that they like to give. And it's going to leave a guy open down the middle as it's Ian Newman getting the first down. Central Oklahoma has it at 1st and goal. 1:09 left. UConn's going to have to do a lot to change this tone right now. They've been in this position before. They know how to deal with it already. They're not privy to this adversity. And this game isn't going to be completely over if UCO gets in the end zone. Not a knack on UCO. It's just because UConn has been here and they know how to handle it. UCO is going to keep winding it down, and they're going to dump it off. And looked like he had 6 there for a second. They're going to wind the clock down still. They're going to have to be a little careful now about the time. They got 2 timeouts, but they don't want to put themselves in a position where they're working against the clock, especially with all the hard work they've done to bring it down the field. UConn, however, can put them in a position to where it's only going to be a one-possession game still going into half. They got to tighten up here. It's the 5-2 look. Might be running pinch out of it. Let's see. They do run pinch, and it doesn't get the stop. It's going to be a touchdown. UCO is going to have a 10-point lead pending this extra point going into halftime. And yep, it's good. So unless something crazy happens here, UCO has a 10-point lead going into halftime. UConn does get the ball back first. That is important to remember. It's still going to be anyone's game. Not a game to completely right away yet, especially if you're a UConn fan, coach, or player. So let's see what UConn does here. You know, they got nothing to lose. Might see them go deep here, or they might play it smart. They're gonna go a little deep here, and it pays off. Going into the second half, that can be big for them. That might have done enough to warm up George a little bit. Still a little too far to kick the field goal. However, close enough to take a shot to the end zone now. Looks like UCO's running prevent here. Let's see what happens, guys. It's going to be a timeout by UConn. Probably going to switch over to the Hail Mary look. Doesn't look like they have the Hail Mary look. Oh, man. Apologies. But they'll just go out and trips open, adjust something to where they have the guys go into the end zone. Practically the same thing. It's going to be Law Ramsey by himself on the outside. We got Murphy at the inside slot, closest point of attack for George. Looks like who he targets. Oh my God. Yeah, that was crazy close. But we're going into halftime, and it's time to talk to these guys and see what's going on. Apologies for the ratchetness right there. But yeah, we're going to jump on over to the UCO coaching staff right now. Hey guys, hell of a half so far. Y'all moved the ball fine. Really didn't have any times where we were too worried about a turnover. Didn't let them do too much on offense. How should we expect to see more of the same?
I would say just stick to what's working here in the second half. Defensively, we've done well. Should have had like 5 interceptions, but that's okay. We got one, turned into 2 points. We have a 2-score lead. Feeling good. Just got to make sure we don't settle like we had the past couple times we played UConn and let them get back in the game. But yeah, we feel like we're in a good spot here.
So Taco, George, has been Georging it up. How do you keep him like playing like George and not let him kind of have an out of body game compared to what he's had so season? How do you keep him caged like you have so far?
I think just sticking to what we've been doing. Obviously, it's working well. They have 0 points. We should have had more than one pick. But that's neither here nor there. So I think we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. And I think we'll be fine.
All right. And last questions for you, Wad. UConn has almost been an exclusive 4-2 or nickel look team this year. And then they're coming out tonight giving you 3-2-6 looks, giving you the 3-4 looks, giving you the 5-2 looks. What's been your thought process with adjusting to this? Or has it been something that really hasn't affected how you've approached them much tonight?
Weasley, get warm. Weasley, throw ball. Weasley, complete pass. UCO score. Mini point.
Yes.
Well, it's definitely been a tale of two Weasleys so far, and let's see if it stays the same. Best of luck for the rest of the game, guys.
Appreciate it.
All right, we going over to UConn now. Boys, not the best start so far. However, you do get the ball back in the second half first. You still can put yourself in a good position. How do we get the ball moving? How do we eventually get points on the board tonight?
I think at this point we just gotta punt the ball back to him, right? Like,
3 knees and a punt. It's the easiest way to
we
do it.
just
Get the
gotta
offense
put it
moving.
to him. Let him play defense,
So yeah, that second question, speaking of defense, goes to Big Daddy. It's been a different look on defense tonight. Y'all usually have the 4-2 look going on, the nickel look going on. However, it's been some 3-4, a lot of 3-2 going on tonight. What's your process with changing up everything?
We're 2-5, so what we have now is not working. Still got some adjustments to make for the second half, though. I think our best bet, we're just gonna run punt block and gets past every time. I think we'll be just fine.
All right, well, sounds like a plan for y'all. Hey, best of luck for the rest of tonight. EA, good luck with the Tasmanian Devil. Zach, suck my balls. And guys, we're going to be going into the second half now in just a second. Got to get the stream set back up correctly for it. And Yeah, we're jumping into it. All right, UConn gets the ball first, second half. Let's see what we can do, or let's see what they can do. It's no longer a we. I'm a Georgetownian now. And it's going to be a pretty good return there by Tyrone Turt, bringing it almost up to the 30-yard line. Best field possession I think any team started from a kickoff or punt tonight. So yeah, let's see what UConn can do. Looks like they're not going to punt the ball right out the jump like they said, but I don't think y'all were really expecting that anyway. Going to be 3 receivers, a tight end, a running back. They're going into the 11 look again, something we've seen a lot from them tonight, something we've seen a lot from both teams tonight, if not the 4 wide. And looks like they're going to start with the play action. Another dump off the spruce. This time's only going to be 4 yards. And it's 2nd and 6 now. We got Wright bringing it up. Trucks him over. 16-yard rush. Pardon me for that one. And yeah, last night of the regular season, unless I'm wrong and there's a game tomorrow night, someone correct me on that if they're in chat, but I believe this is the last night of the regular season. Anyone in chat that can clarify that for me, I would be very grateful. And it's going to be 3rd and 2 now. George is Georging it up. That's the best way to say it. That's the best way to put it. Wright's had their biggest play on the ground. Outside of like a 19-yard reception, that 16-yard rush was their biggest play, and it was Eddie that did most of the work for that 19-yard reception. George has really just been really off this season. And yeah, no, it is the last game of the regular season. Okay. But anyway, we're at 1st and 10 now. UConn's moving it up. Let's see if they can get back in control of this game, you know? Told you guys it wasn't over, and right now they're doing what they can to make sure that holds true. It's a personal flag. It is going to be the clipping, however. It does bring them back a little bit. Not what you want to have happen after driving the ball down a little bit. However, it is only 1st and 18. Doesn't bring them back 15 fully. Let's see what they can do with it. If it's going to be another run here that they just can rely on a little bit more, or now if they're going to have to air it out since they're behind the sticks. Going to see the 1-5-5 look from UCO here, not the prowl, but the base. So I'm not going to be seeing their linebackers jump around as much. Not as much as a disguised look. However, no, I am wrong. So yeah, their linebackers are going to be jumping around a little bit. And George takes off the run here. George brings it up for a 10-yard rush. George has some wheels now. Good speed rating in the high 80s, I believe. Not the best carry rating, but is able to bring the ball forward and can do something with open space. But, you know, not the most exciting game so far for our last RFCL regular season game. For a very exciting season, I must add. But not the worst game either. We're seeing UConn drive it down a little bit. However, they are at 3rd and 7 after the 1-yard completion. Now George might have to do a little bit more if they keep it off the ground here. You're in that weird position where, you can pick up 7 on the ground. However, your air game is the more reliable option usually. And it's going to be 4th and 7. Looks like UConn might be a little bit outside of field goal range too. It's 55 yards. And it looks like they're going to go for it here. Either way, it's not a bad call. You punt it and you potentially put them in real bad field possession and a hole to dig out of on offense. You kick the field goal, you make it, put it within a score. You go for it, you make it, you still have a chance for 7. And George trying to do a little bit more than just getting 7 yards there. Doesn't really work out. You can see where he has the window there, and you can see where he tried to force something, make it happen. But eventually, it's just not enough. His arm hasn't been good enough tonight or year to really pull that off. And then now we're going to see UCO now with the ball in the middle of the field. They're going to be coming out in a 4-wide look. And if they do something here, this could be game. And it's going to be a big gain. 26-yard reception. I believe that's our biggest gain of the night so far. First over 20-yard play. UCO's really putting themselves in a good position now. As Wad said, I think like Fred throw ball go forward, some shit like that. But yeah, it holds true. UConn's a little switch up on defense. Let's see what it can do right now. It looks like they're going to let Fred run loose tonight when it comes to the option game. One of their defensive decisions that's really paying off so far. You haven't seen Fred make really any impact at all in their running game. Done some in the passing game. He's at 66% right now. Let's see if he can hold up, though, do a little bit more with his legs. Hello, videos for our calls. This is College Football Revamped, or a mod off of College Football Revamped videos for our calls, which is a mod off of NCAA 14. And look at Fred. Okay, so Fred is hot. And look, Connecticut tackling Fred to get in the backfield. That's the thing that's going to be the saving grace for UConn, I believe, is, Fred is hot. Fred is getting his passes off and getting them where it needs to be. But UConn is doing a really, really good job of getting to him in the backfield, getting to him and stuffing his runs. And it's going to be the option keeper here. And the 6-yard rush, I believe, is Fred's biggest gain off the ground. UCO going for it. Not too controversial of a call yet. It's probably the right call, being frank. I expect to see something like the HB dart, the trap, but it's going to be a pass play. Dump off to the tight end, and it's going to be the turnover. UConn still having a chance, still in this game. George is going to have to do a lot to change, or their offense in general is going to have to if it's not going to be him. $18-yard reception by Kyle Morse. Okay. If any of you UConn guys have this stream on, I'd like to see a heat check on George. Gives guys watching a little bit more context, but it's gonna be 1st and 10. UConn now is not backed up to their end zone. Less scary of a position. Let's see what they can do. And Johnny Bright's going to bring it up for a 3-yard carry as we're 2 minutes away from approaching the last quarter of RFCL regular season football for a little bit of time, guys. All right, it's going to be 3rd and 7 here. The bunch look on the right. George is going to lob it up, and he's going to get the complete pass, lull Ramsey for 14 yards. UConn's starting to drive it up now. We've seen it a few times from them so far. Let's see what they can do with it this time, because they don't really have any freebies anymore. They got to start turning these drives into points. And it's going to be Johnny Wright bringing it up for an 8-yard gain. Oh, we got a pause here. Not fully sure why they were paused. We'll be getting context for you guys. Stand by. Oh, we got a play challenge. We have a play challenge. Give me a second, guys.
Receiver motion
Hey
there.
guys, y'all have a play challenge. So yeah, we have a play challenge. Gave them the heads up. Hope these guys realize that we are not one. There we go. Yeah, stand by, guys. We just have a challenge situation going on right now. And it looks like that UCO is going to supersede that challenge. A little bit of difficulty on UConn's end. Sorry for the delay. Sorry for the silence, guys. But yeah, kind of still playing the waiting game. Just still waiting to see what they're going to do, what's going to happen. Oh, gameplay. We are in the game, boys. EA Sports in the game. And 9-yard reception by Murphy. We have some entertainment, guys, coming into this last quarter of RFCL regular season football. Sorry about the long delay of the game there. No, thankfully, it wasn't a broadcasting difficulty, so y'all can't blame it on me there. And 3rd and inches. UConn's got to convert in these next 2 plays. They can't get stopped by a 4th down right now. And, ooh, that's not a good look. Looks like Johnny Wright's on the ground. And that's going to bring, I believe, Eddie Murphy in the backfield, if I saw that numbering correctly. So the senior standout is going to have to really stand out tonight for the rest of this game to make his senior night memorable. However, we got 17 seconds left, 15 now in the last 3rd quarter of RFCL regular season football. And UConn's going to have to call something here before we get into this last quarter of the game. And Murphy's going to get stopped in the backfield. We're at 4th and inches. And this is going to be an exciting last quarter of RFCL football, guys. First play of this last quarter, it's going to be 4th and inches. We got 7 minutes left. Let's see what UConn does here. Is it time to kick the field goal and get points on the board? Is it time to put it all on the table and see if you can get the first down? "31 yards away, UConn's going to go for the risk. We see the Maryland heavy look again. You see Morse at that tight end look. I don't see him being a pass disguise right now. And UConn gets the ball off. It is going to be a pass, and it brings them to first down. Boink doink with the 3-yard reception. Not having the biggest impact at UConn this year. However, showing up when he needs to, making his blocks when he needs to, and getting the eventual reliable catch for him when he needs to. We have 6 minutes and 53 seconds left in this regular season. UConn has a chance to make those last minutes exciting. Looks like we just had a little group of y'all join into the stream. Welcome to everybody that just joined in. We got 1 quarter left of the regular season in RFCL football. We see the tight end Spruce in motion for UConn as it's 1st and 10 for them. And Weasley gets the completion, brings them to 1st and goal. Finally, some heating up by George. Maybe he's been saving it up for his last quarter of his senior season. This is poised to be an exciting game. Weasley again with the completion, back to Doink, 4-yard gain, 2nd and goal. UConn keeps moving the ball forward. UCO has to find out an option. You know, Gerald did warn that they shouldn't get too little lackadaisical. They shouldn't get too comfortable. And right now, it looks like they went against his initiatives. And Johnny Wright can't find any space there. It's going to be 3rd and goal, about 3 yards away. UConn has to find a way to get the ball in this end zone. And 4th and goal, looks like UConn is just going to play it safe, get the easy points. You know, this might be their only time they get in this position of the field. So let's hope if they get the ball back that A, they're within a touchdown still, and B, they're able to get the ball down this point of the field. Yeah, John, I agree. However, ain't my call anymore, and it's a 7-point game. UCO is going to take the return up to not even the 20. Okay, so, hey, Big Daddy's came up with a few stops tonight. Let's see what the wizard himself can come up with. Let's see what magic he makes happen. And Fred's not as hot as he was coming into the second half, really. If you remember a couple quarters ago, he was burning hot. Now he's hardly yellow. And UCO is going to have to change their tone a little bit out of the gate if they want to keep UConn away from getting back into this game. It is a quick pass down the middle. It's going to be 3rd and 2. Big play for UConn here. They get the stop here, and they got a lot of time to get back into this game and make something happen, especially with how their red zone game is. They really would have to depend on Georgia to loft it up, especially with how aggressive the red zone defense of UCO is. So they do need all that possible time, and they have him throw it off his back foot. It's 4th and 2. UConn's going to have a chance. Guys, this is the excitement we need in the last quarter of the regular season. UCO looked a little hesitant at first to go into the special teams look, but they're going to punt it anyway. Kind of have to punt it in this situation. Let's just hope UConn plans to return to punt here. They're going to come out in the quarter look. Let's hope that their safety does not muff this punt. All right, and that's just going to roll to the end zone for a touchback. I was a little worried that the ball touched his foot for a second. It didn't. Look, UConn has more yardage than UCO tonight. They have all the chance in the world to put the ball in the end zone. And depending on how much time is left in this game, they might be going for 2 here. George is going to take off. George is going to bring it back to the sticks, slides down, and almost takes out number 30's ACL in the process. Going to be about a 14, 15-yard gain. It's 1st and 10. Clock's winding down. 35-yard line. UConn is putting themselves in a good position. And Kyle Morris now getting involved in the passing game a little bit. 6-yard reception. Either his 2nd or 3rd reception of the night. Not the most active and busy night for him, but it's gotten a few plays for him. Has helped him move the ball. Not the loudest night for really any UConn player. However, they're doing everything they can to keep the ball moving and keep themselves in the game. And it's been an overall team effort that should be very much respected by this league. It's going to be the play action look there. Hell of a block by Wright. George does nothing with that block, though. Your running back really throws his body out there to stop a linebacker or defensive back like that. I really didn't see what number it was, but considering it was the 155, probably a linebacker. He's got to throw his body into that, and you should at least reward that good work with making a big play from it. But disappointing pass overall. It's 3rd and 4. Let's see if George can change the tone from that pass right there. Looks like UCO is leaving some space for the run, and UConn's going to take advantage of it, and it's a 1st down. 3 minutes, 55 seconds. Clock will start ticking once that ball gets set. UConn is still keeping themselves in fighters' reach of this game. It's going to be 2nd and 4 now. UConn's keeping it on the ground a little bit, winding this clock down, burning it. If they get in the end zone, it seems like they do not want to let UCO have the chance to respond before a potential overtime or before a potential end of regulation. But we still got 3 minutes and 25 seconds left. This game can go a lot of ways right now, and it's all for UConn to decide. And it's time for George Weasley to really step up in his last game in the RFCL. And George steps up, bringing it to Law Ramsey. 10-yard reception. It's a first down. Law's been having probably his biggest game of the year tonight. His name's been popping up here and there now. I believe that's his 4th reception. Would be surprised if it's only his 3rd. But he's been stepping up for him tonight. He's made a few big plays now. And with 3 minutes left, that's as big of a play as you can make. And it really is only 3 receptions, but he has accounted for more than a quarter of their passing yards. And with a lot of targets tonight, that is an impactful game on this offense. And it's going to be Johnny Wright muscling it up, bringing it to the 35-yard line on that right hash. 2nd and 6. UConn's keeping a good pace right now, you know. Going to be interesting if they get in the end zone to see what they do. If they want to make it an early night and go for 2 and decide it there, or if they want to bring a little bit more drama to this game and bring it into overtime. We got 2nd and 6. Time still winding down off the clock. Let's see what happens. And, oh my God. Well, UConn's really going to have to make a big stop here now. There's enough time for him to challenge there. That ball may have touched the ground. That's close. But wow. That's unfortunate. And UConn is going to challenge the play. And let's see what these guys up in the booth say. Let's see what these guys in the booth are looking at. Maybe we can get a slowed down look here, a better angle. It's in the air. That ball might have touched some green, guys. UConn might be alive. And they are not. Wow, what a George way to end George's season. Zell, it is me, Beaver. Far as I hate to tell you, the ball didn't hit the ground, according to the game. I thought it did. I thought I saw that ball touch green. That's an unfortunate way to potentially go out for George Weasley at UConn. But it's 2nd and 6. UConn has a chance here to stop UCO, get the ball back, and they're going to have to score pretty quickly now and change up their pace a little bit. Yeah, that's Water Gerald rigging the game right there. You know, they got that revamped Riz, as the kids would say, and they pulled some strings to make that happen there. 3rd and 6, though. Looks like UConn's holding on to the timeouts. I like the strategy. Okay, yeah, they did burn one there. But yeah, they stop UCO here, call their timeout, get the ball back. They got a minute 10. You know, the clock does stop for a minute whenever you get that first down. It's not an over game. This play pretty much decides if UCO completely wins this or not. But if UConn stops them, guys, they have a shot. And it's not like a snowball chances in hell. And looks like we're paused. Curious as to what's going on. Oh, it's a 90-second timeout. All right, so while we're in this 90-second timeout, some news going on around the world. Let me pull up some Twitter and see what's trending. Yeah, moment of silence for Rooster Teeth. Yeah, R.I.P. That was a moment of silence for that. What else has been going on? I don't know what people. Someone put in something interesting in the chat. What's news today? We had a State of the Union. Not going to make any comments on that. Going to stray away from politics. Kesha's trending for some reason. That's usually not good news. Oh, she's looking rough. Oh, we're back in the game. Okay, thank God. All right, guys, this is 3rd and 6. This is game. What is Central Oklahoma going to do here? Are they going to keep it on the ground, force the timeout, and they are going to throw it here, putting the game in Weasley off the back foot. 4th and 6. UConn has a chance. They have a timeout. This is still anyone's ball game. And UCO looks like they're going to be smart and punt it here. So yeah, it's 1st and 10, minute 12. Let's see what UConn runs here. They've had some looks that's been moving the ball fine, some looks that have done them pretty right. However, they gotta have something big. They gotta have something dramatic here. But yeah, in the wise words of Nismo, do you guys believe? And George gets ricocheted right there. It's 2nd and 17. Come on, Huskies. All right, a lot of times winding down right now. Come on, UConn. And a ball goes out of bounds. 3rd and 17. A lot needs to happen here. UConn, you gotta make a big play. And let's see if it's something that George can do. How is George going to end his career in the RFCL? It's been a pretty storied one. Ups, downs. But is it going to end at a high point? Is it going to end at a low point? All right, 4th and 17. This could be potentially it for George Weasley and his UConn career. This could be potentially it for the game. This could be potentially it for the RFCL regular season. But in the wise words of Nismo, do you guys believe? Are we getting a 90-second timeout here? Are we getting a 90-second? We are using a 90-second timeout. All right. I could count to 90 or I could talk about random shit again. And I'm going to talk about random shit. So, God, there's absolutely nothing entertaining trending right now. It's all like political or stock news. Unless I'm just living under a hole, it really looks like nothing crazy is going on today in the pop culture world and the news world. Oh yeah, Jake and Mike Tyson. How about that? We got Jake Paul and Mike Tyson reportedly wanting to fight each other. We got a minute left still. Nismo, my mic is the best mic in the goddamn league. And I believe that. Yeah, Pars, I agree. That's unfortunate. Oh, Vultures too. I'm sorry, Nismo. I'm not entertained by garbage. I want to know what Vultures 2 is. Oh yeah, big name players getting cut. How about Justin Simmons being cut? That was pretty juicy. Tre'Davious White. Could have asked me as an LSU fan. I didn't think he was going to be that great in the pros anyway, because my God, his field awareness is terrible. But enough about Tre'Davious White. It's 4th and 17, guys. This can be ball game. Do you believe? Oh, it's a Kanye album. I kind of gave up on Kanye after fucking Donda. Nothing's gonna beat his first 4 or 5 albums, Nismo. Or that was Zell. Or that was Nismo. But yeah, 4th and 17. We still got some time, and that gives me enough time to ask you guys one more time. Do you believe? Do you believe? Looks like a little bit too much belief, as that's it for George Weasley's career with the UConn Huskies in the RFCL. Looks like UCO might be a little bit greedy here and try to get some points. Let's see what happened, though. It's a halfback. Oh my God, it's the halfback toss pass. All right, so UCO's want to get a little cheeky, wanting to rub it in a little bit. Sayawaha Harris, however the fuck you pronounce that name, can't get the completion. And UConn brings them to 3rd and goal. Really confused of what UCO's got to do here, is really doing here. Are they just going to let the clock wind down? Are they going to give us another chance to maybe give UConn the pick 6? UConn pick 6? Believe! And oh, flea flicker. And that's the ball game. It's going to be a 10-3 score with UCO winning. We'll be jumping over to UCO. All right, guys. So, interesting last few play calls there. However, you did warn that y'all get comfortable against UConn a lot, and seems like that happened for a minute there. What was going through y'all's talk? What were y'all saying to each other? What were y'all doing to stay calm when UConn looked like they were within real close striking distance for a second?
Well, I mean, they'd had a couple drives get near the red zone and stuff, and Raider figured out some stuff to call then, and we got a turnover or forced a field goal, so we weren't really that worried. We kind of adjusted what we had offensively. The play calls I thought were fine. Weasley just either didn't hit or was a couple of drop passes. Stuff to improve on for next week when we play Montana. Overall, it's just one of those games where we want to, this is kind of get right game for anything we're not doing. And we do have some stuff to work on before we play Montana again.
So, Taco, question for you. Defense ends up producing a couple turnovers tonight. One of those games, feel like you could have done a little bit more defensively in terms of getting more turnovers. However, you only allowed 3 points tonight. I'm sure you're happy with that. What are you going to do to turn some of those interceptions into turnovers if you really have any approach at that?
I mean, I don't really know. I think we're making the right play calls. We have guys in the positions. They just want to, swat the ball down instead of pick it off. So it's just a player thing. They gotta want to catch the ball, I guess. Gonna be mad at incompletions or pass breakups. That's all good, but yeah, we definitely want more interceptions.
And question for you, Wad. Should we consider your play calling at the end of the game a personal attack on Big Daddy? And if so, do you have any egregious statements to say towards that man?
No. Simple.
Listen.
Weasley get cold. Weasley miss pass. Weasley don't score.
The end of the play calling was for Raider. Raider wanted that, former coach, and didn't work. But that's okay.
Yeah, it didn't work at all.
We ran some random ass plays.
Well, Raider, I understand, and congrats on the wins, guys. Best of luck in the postseason.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we're gonna jump over to UConn now.
Ball.
Hey, guys, that was an exciting way to end the season. Maybe not the best game from George to end his UConn career. Maybe not the result y'all are looking for. And really a heartbreaking.
It's had a great game, bro. George threw for almost 250 yards.
Still
did you ever throw for 250 yards when you were at UConn? Yeah. That's right. Damn, bro, that's crazy.
I mean, 3 points is pretty crazy too, Zachary. So again, suck my balls. But the question's gonna go to you, Big Daddy. Not really a good second half there. You did a lot, however, you didn't get the turnovers you needed to really change what could really happen. How'd you feel about that play calling at the end of the game by UCO? I feel like you showed a really hell of a game, and I would personally feel a little disrespected by that shit at the end of the game.
I appreciate it, man. You know what? I don't really care.
Hold on, Big Daddy. Big Daddy. Big Daddy, I got this. First of all, we did what we were supposed to do. We held the number 4 team in the country. They did not score in the second half, okay? Our defense performed. Period.
Yeah, I was complimenting your defense. Your defense did a hell of a job. I was just asking how he felt about the play calls at the end of the game because that wasn't right. And honestly, the fucking interception thing was a robbery. What y'all should have gotten this one there at the end.
The INT was bull. Play calling at the end of the game, I didn't really care. They weren't moving the ball anyway. Didn't really affect me at all. They didn't even have to take a knee, and they still went backwards. Now, all in all, hats off to them. They got a hell of a coaching staff. Wish them the best of luck, and we'll see them next year.
All right. Anything else from you guys to close out the season? All right. Good night.
I got none.
And that was the UConn coaching staff there after a long season, and after an exciting season of RFCL football. Guys, we got the postseason coming up. We've had a lot go on this year. Let's keep this exciting momentum moving on to the